We must always remember Juneteenth is about remembering the legacy of the African enslaved. The rich legacy, the struggles of the enslaved Africans so that we can know victory today. All of us must take this opportunity to teach a young person or an older person that is not educated about today the lesson, especially our young people. It is up to us as the parents and guardians and educators to make sure that our children walk in truth. So if they don't know the story, then you cannot put it on them for why they are not sensitive to the journey and to other people. The same way we have to teach young people how to love themselves, we have to teach them the truth about all. If our children do not love themselves, it's very difficult to love someone else. So if they don't know the truth about, say, Juneteenth, then perhaps they won't know the whole story about that journey of the enslaved Africans. Those of us, I know it's a painful, painful memory, but it is very real. It's a real part of world history and American history. And one of the things that I was so thankful to learn when I started studying the transatlantic slave trade, particularly in Ghana, West Africa, where they have over 95% of the slave dungeons where the enslaved Africans were held before being put on those ships. I traveled all around Ghana on what they call the slave routes. They were really trade routes. But because slavery became so lucrative, it became known as slave routes. And one of the things that I learned when I was able to secure artifacts on that journey was that the ancestors were not these subservient, weak people. They would not have needed the shackles, and they would not have needed the cuffs if they were weak and subservient. They needed those because they were always in pursuit of freedom. So it changed my mind about how I thought about the ancestors that were enslaved. And it's the same for those who were here. So I'm so very thankful to all of those who had a part in saying that we need to celebrate the Freedom Day of Africans here in America. And that we as a country decided that it was that important to make it a holiday. And we recognize it and we're celebrating it. Yes, it's a scar and it's painful, but again, it's truth. And we must face our truth. So today, I want you all to know that if you haven't felt it already, one of the legacies of Africa is this African drum and dance. And not only as entertainment, but as a healing therapy. And that's the way we learn this, as a healing therapy and for edutainment, to educate and to teach. The healing, these drums, if you look it up, go out there and look it up, the benefits of drumming would say the djembe drum. That's this drum that you hear Ra screaming with. The djembe drum. The vibrations and the frequencies that come off of these drums. We were all in a drum class together. The cells in our bodies began to regenerate. The science showed that we regenerate cells, cancer-killing cells, by just being in the room with these drums. So imagine playing them. Not my research. You know I'm biased already with these drums. But the research is there. There's also research where a professor in Canada took a group of children and he put one group in the violin lessons, one group on these drums, another group, no music lessons. Kept them for a full year. Tested them throughout the year. And consistently, the group with no music lessons scored the lowest. The group that played these drums scored the highest. His research, he concluded that these drums help to increase your IQ. So I could go on and on and on and on. But one of the things that I like to share is that there are some children, and maybe even some young adults, that could be struggling in their studies. And the science and the research shows that the arts help to develop the mind.